Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new product launch meeting, a new planned day. Last year, when the launch meeting ended, I asked my friends, "Hey, buddy, how about my launch meeting?" They all said, "Oh, it's wonderful." Then I asked them, which part is impressive? Guess what? They all remembered the lobbyist by its great vision system and the simple brain. Actually, I'd like you to get this. All living creatures survived, only its brain and the vision system move on to be better together. Compared with what we are doing, endoscopic camera system is doomed to find a new clinical solution direction if processor system and the sensing technology update together. So I just want to share you what we thought, what we did in the last year. I'll start with human eyes. All we know, human eyes are the best camera system in the world, no doubt. There are about 7 million of core cells on retina and 120 million of rod cells on retina. Core cells is in charge of sensing strong light and recognize the details. It is very sensitive, can tell the color, can tell the details. While the rod cells is in charge of sensing weak light, just tell bright or dark. However, why we need so many rod cells? According to some research, rod cells play different roles when the external light environment changes. If the light environment is between 3 to 1 billion nits, we call it bright vision. In this case, only core cell works. And there is a dark vision, only rod cells works. Between these two ranges, core and rod work together. Very interesting, right? What does this mean? This means the weak light situation, rod cells work hard to remain the resolution of human eyes. But even human eyes, we switch from dark to bright suddenly. We can't open the eyes as the light is too strong. It may take several minutes or seconds to adapt the new condition. This is what we call bright light adaptation. Also, when switch from bright to dark, we are going to lose the vision for several seconds and hardly see anything, but we'll recover it later. That is what we call dark light adaptation. Core and rod cell need time to switch on. Their co-work way enlarges eyes' dynamic range. It is said the dynamic range of eyes is from 100 to 113 dB. This range is beyond all cameras' number. This perfect performance, we call it high dynamic range. This is the first keyword, HDR. Based on the concept, my engineering team tried something new. We'll introduce about this later. Next, we'll move on to the focus and the zoom performance of human eyes. In our visual field, we can always say what we want to say, no matter where it is. with a really fast focusing speed. In fact, the focusing system of our eyes is very complicated, and the lens plays a very important role in this process. What is the most important part is the lens is deformable. The lens consists of several of vari-focal lens. Ciliary body can pull and push the lens to make the shape to be different. When the object is close, ciliary body push the lens to be thicker so that the object can be captured on the retina. When the object is far away, ciliary body pull the lens to be thinner so that the object can also be captured on the retina. No matter the professional camera or phone's camera, their autofocus function is developed all based on the above principle. We call this VAF. This is the second keyword. Last year, we talked about the evolution of human eyes. It is really a fantastic process. After that, I just can't stop thinking, why animals need two eyes? I was told, of course we need it. I was told that, of course, we need two eyes, as we need stereo vision to get the exact location information. I used to think that all animals just like lions. Their single visual range is about 100 degrees, while their stereo vision is about 15 to 16 degrees. However, this is not true. Some animals, for example, antelopes, there is a big distance between the eyes. Seems like the two eyes is isolated from each other. In this way, their single view range is as high as 117 degrees, while their stereo vision range is much narrow, maybe no more than 20 degrees. This is very interesting. So now, a hunter needs accurate position, while the antelopes, a huntee, need to see all directions to avoid the danger. Then, they have evolved their oval vision system to survive better. Here, let's switch our mind to the operating room. In the process of surgery, the endoscopic camera system which doctor used, is it the hunter's view or the huntee's view? I think the answer is obvious. 3D, stereo vision, this is the third keyword. The complete perception comes from the teamwork of vision and the brain. Driven by curiosity, I did some studying of the evolution of animal brains. When I saw this, I just feel really honored to be here with so many national level treasure animals. Even I'm not sure whether my brain is even like this. So, when I saw this, I finally know why human beings can dominate the world. Although the elephant's brain is heaviest, it has only 1/3 as many nervous cells as ours, while monkeys are really smart. Therefore, we can know the human brain is unique. That is why we can invent plenty of tools to make our world to be better and better. Thanks for the existence of species like monkey or elephant, we have more information for uncovering the evolution of the human brain. If 800,000 years ago, if ibis did not start master how to use fire, slowly change their eating habits, and the facial and the jaw part did not make more room for the brain. The brain may not have enough room to evolve. The brain capacity of Homo sapiens would not have grown too much. Actually, the eye is just one sensor of the brain. Biological sensing can be divided into 4 parts: chemical, mechanical, thermal, and light sensing. Brain will do related reaction according to different sensing information. While the most primitive brain consists of 3 parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. The forebrain is in charge of smell and vision. The hindbrain processes information from forebrain with stereo, balance, and hearing. The midbrain is responsible for integrating sensory information for motor control, such as turning and running. As the brain owes sensing information, definitely it will move on the next step, which is spatial unit for spatial function. A lot of studies shows the brain grows after birth, can reach to the peak level after 8 months old. Most of us, our 3-year-old brain is almost like our 8 years. Therefore, for the starting 3 years, we must pay attention to the basic construction of the brain, lay a solid foundation, and develop more neural networks so that we can have enough computing resource to support a whole lifetime's use. Mach 5, the hardware platform we launched last year, is such a great endoscopic camera processing system, which has enough computing cores. The computing cores of Mach 5 is affordable for all of the new products that will be launched today. All above, we know that our vision system evolves better and better. Our brain system evolves better and better. Both of them update in their ways to be better for survival. Here is enlightenment. For the current stage of minimally invasive surgery's needs and the development of the technologies trade, we believe that endoscope system will see more, will be better, will be more and more intelligent. That is the theme of our product launch, to see more than better. Next, let's move to the point. The first part is HDR technology. Why do we need to study HDR technology? Because there is a surgeon's pain behind it. In the past 5 years, our clinical supporting team brings back a lot of such feedback: too bright, too dark, to see clearly, etc. We heard about this. We took some action. One solution is to do local processing, such as dark area improvements or highlight suppression. This algorithm can indeed improve problems in many conditions. However, surgeons have to suffer a lot of switching on-off work. So they just ask for a better solution. Can we just keep the view steady, not too bright, not too dark, no on-off, just normal? We know our eyes, the best camera, can do this. With 7 million cores and 120 million of rods, we realized that the problem is really a good input, but it's really hard, and we want to try. So we started studying phone's camera. We noticed that more and more phone declares the latest generation has HDR function. So we just took some pictures, switched the HDR on and off for test. There is an obvious difference between the pictures with and without HDR. For example, you can see these two pictures. We can't see the details caused by overexposure. With HDR on, the details are back. Here are pictures taken by another mobile phone. In the black light ceiling, there are bright and dark parts at the same time. Also, there is a big difference between using HDR or not. We can see more details with HDR, which also makes our eyes feel more comfortable. Everyone knows the image technology in medical field often falls behind consumer market. So we know the current endoscopic camera system don't have HDR function. How about the dynamic range of our previous camera system? According to the formulas, if the sensor we used is 12-bit type, in ideal case, the dynamic range is about 72 dB. But with dark current and noise impact, the actual dynamic range is generally less than 15 dB. Do you still remember our eyes number? Yes, it's between 100 and 113 dB. So you know, the endoscope system DR is far less than our eyes. Since there is a successful HDR application example in first field, we are considering how to use to improve the problem we mentioned before. Our team have a good idea from the eyes. We know that the core and the rod cell work together to improve the adaptation of different brightness environments. Based on this, traditional camera system may only have core cells. If we try to solve the uneven brightness, maybe we should add the rod to the system. So we add additional CMOS to camera head. By optical design, we just split less light to the near field as its light condition is enough. So the optical design can avoid overexposure. While we split more light to the far field as it indeed needs more light to prevent too little for being too dark. The processor merges two channels of the two sensors data and apply algorithm to realize the fusion of the two CMOS. As a result, we can get a more comfortable and clear vision. This is our test result. Through comparison, you can see that the whole video's brightness is more uniform in the group of HDR, and we feel more comfortable to see the pictures of HDR. And you must be curious about what is it like. Let's watch the video. This is the new product we are going to release today. The HDR camera head, C522HF. In fact, we prefer to call it new technology. The biggest feature of this technology is that it can increase dynamic range by 20 dB compared with the traditional one. We just want to introduce this product to improve uneven brightness problem. All mentioned is our HDR technology. In the last year, we launched our first fluorescent solution.
Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. Hua-Su Rong from Peking Union Medical College Hospital. I'm a general surgeon. Since the first laparoscopic cholecystectomy in 1987, surgeons' expectation for endoscopy have been from just being able to see is enough to being able to see clearly, further to being able to see three-dimensionally. Nowadays, endoscopy has greatly met the clinical needs. But is this the ceiling of endoscopic technology? Obviously not. In the future, we will need functional imaging and even perspective to distinguish different types of human tissue. We hope to have a variety of AI modules to help us make decisions and even operate semi-automatically. We also hope to have better interaction experience and more diverse interaction method. Today, some of them have turned from dreams into reality. Let's talk about functional imaging first. Some people may not be familiar with that word, but we all know about ICG fluorescence, which is the most common type of functional imaging that can help us to perspective the biliary system, to evaluate blood flow, and so on. In short, we can see the anatomical structures that are not visible under the normal light but are crucial to surgical judgment. For example, the bile duct in these two videos can only be guessed and judged by the surgeon's experience in the past. Because the bile duct is often aberrant, the wrong judgment will cause damage to the patient. With the help of ICG, surgeons can predict and avoid many risks. But do you think the ICG in this video is a little bit different? Why is it not green? And why does it look so good? This is the fluorescence system of Hikimaging. Let alone Hikimaging, currently the fluorescence on the market can be divided into the following categories. The first is represented by Da Vinci, whose principle is that imaging in white light mode and fluorescence mode share the same sensor. In the fluorescent mode, the red and green lights will be turned off, and only the excitation and blue light will be provided. After excitation, the fluorescence will be received by the sensor, and the blue light is used to provide background brightness. The advantage of this method is that the system is simple, but the disadvantage is that the scene can only be performed under white light or fluorescent, but not together. The white light and fluorescent cannot be fused, which is very inconvenient. The surgeon needs to switch back and forward. So the Da Vinci system is not always the most advanced. The second type is represented by the pinpoint of Stryker. At present, the fluorescence that we feel good to use is basically the same principle. The white light and fluorescence are refracted by the prism and are collected and imaged by two different sensors. In the fluorescent mode, the imaging of white light and fluorescent can be fused together. This looks much better than Da Vinci. We don't need to switch back and forward, right? But I don't know how do you feel about this video. It feels so green, right? Because ICG itself is green, so it's natural to choose the green color. But human blood is red, and red and green have color conflict. So once bleeding, red and green together will make the surgeon very uncomfortable. It is determined by the characteristics of human vision. Red with green makes people uncomfortable. So when bleeding, the surgeons are already very nervous. If you show them the red and green, they will turn off the fluorescent immediately. In addition to discomfort, there is another bigger problem. The traditional fluorescent is monochromatic. For example, the darkest green is 10 point and the lightest green is 1. However, in actual surgical scene, the fluorescent intensity difference is very large, and the human eye's monochromatic intensity judgment is very limited. For example, in endoscopic cholecystectomy, when the fluorescent intensity of the common bile duct is 1, that of the liver can be as high as 100. At this time, the liver will be a dark green, while the common bile duct will barely be able to see in by human eye. In practical clinical application, for example, the bile duct in this video on the left is almost invisible in the monochromatic model. There will be a large amount of liver fluorescent pollution all over the scene, but Hikimage will not have this kind of problem. We communicate with the Hikimage team with our problems and needs. After a period of joint exploration, Hikimage gave us a very amazing solution. The first thing is to select the color. The common color distribution of human tissue is mainly red and yellow. Based on the color theory analysis from the perspective of human eye comfort, blue and purple color have the lightest visual fatigue, so we choose the blue and purple. Secondly, the intensity change of fluorescence is expressed through 2 or 3 colors. For example, when fluorescent intensity is from 1 to 10, the display will gradually transit from light blue to dark blue. While when the fluorescent intensity is from 10 to 100, the display will gradually transit from light purple to dark purple, which not only increase the differentiation, but also can display the weak intensity fluorescent area that is difficult to see in the past. After half a year's trials and optimization, we have found a very comfortable 2-color fluorescent mode, the blue and purple mode, which not only reduce the fluorescent pollution, but also very easy to distinguish different tissues. It looks very comfortable, basically without visual fatigue. These fluorescent prototype have been snatched in turn by liver surgeon, bile duct surgeon, ER surgeons. Sometimes we cannot grab it ourselves. This is a colleague of mine who wrought my machine and performed an emergent cholecystectomy. At the time that I also want to use it. He took a video with his cell phone and sent it to me to show off. You see, this case got a heavy adhesion at the triangle. So the fluorescent is really meritorious in this case, which effectively assists the decision making during the operation. There are some very interesting ongoing unpublished research. You guys can look forward to that next year. Thank you.
Thanks for Dr. Hua's introduction. The first fluorescent solution we launched last year is the first for key, out-focus, and fluorescent solution in China. For key, AF, fluorescent. It seems pretty cool. However, we heard another complaint. I believe that most of you know this complaint, especially the operating nurse. Engineers know that there is a matching relationship between the sensor and the lens. If the size of lens is smaller than that of the sensor, for example, here is the endoscopic surgeon with a f18 millimeter lens. The image size you see is a complete cycle. If the size of lens is larger than that of the sensor, so big enough that's completely inside the lens, such as laparoscopic surgeries with a f28 millimeter lens, then the image size is a full screen. If the lens between the front two, such as some urinary surgeries with a f22 millimeter lens, some black edges will still be exposed. Every day, various operations are performed in operating room. So many medical devices in the operating room and so many settings to be remembered. Do we have to remember this? To satisfy the market needs, many manufacturers always provide a minute focus length, which covers the focus length from 14 to 32 millimeter, can meet the need from small scope to laparoscopic surgery. Although it solved the problem of lens configuration, it caused another problem to the doctor who hold camera head. During the operation, the focus ring is adjusted from time to time to ensure a clear picture. There are two adjustable rings on optical couplers. One is for zoom, the other one is for focus. One condition is that the doctor don't know which one is for focus and which one is for the lens. The other case is even he knows the exact use. However, some zoom ring is designed in conjunction with focus ring. As a result, the image is zoomed in out instead of focus. Moreover, sometimes it's not easy for doctor to rotate the ring as poor design. All of this will lead to a waste of time. Tools are supposed to solve problems, but poor design will bring more problems. Again, we see these troubles, just wondering, can we do something to fix the trouble? Our engineering team are already very familiar with fixed autofocus technology. Can we do more based on AF technology, just like ciliary body pulling the lens so that our camera can also have a variable focus function? So I got this solution. Replace the original fixed AF module with zoom lens module, pulling and pushing the zoom lens module to move like ciliary body. Then the problem is solved. It is easy to say than to do. To achieve this, it takes a whole year for our team. This is just the design change of a sensing module. With the help of algorithm, we can make people remember less. The auto switching mode algorithm is developed to switch operation mode automatically with the ASM function. Maybe the nodes do not need to do any setting after power on. The processor device can recognize the user mode and match it with the exact focus length. No more setting work. Of course, you can also associate frequent user mode with the focal length. Do the only one selector mode action to make sure the focus length is set exactly with mode. Have you noticed that the photos function of current phones we used are becoming more and more powerful and much easier to use? That is what we say. Technology brings simplicity to life. And we also want to make the operation of the endoscope camera system more and more simple. Meanwhile, we are improved the design of fluorescent function. As surgeons required, they need a more sensitive fluorescent imaging effect. We did some updates on OptiCard to increase the light input and improve the algorithm related with fluorescent parts, which increase the sensitivity of fluorescent imaging by 315% compared with the first generation solution. Surgeons also told us when they did some operation with ultrasound surgical instrument, it's better for the endoscope to be far away from the instrument as smoke generated by ultrasound surgical instrument may smudge the front end. It costs time to clean the lens. Surgeons don't like this. However, the fluorescent effect decreases as the long-distance course less fluorescent light pass by. Here is contradiction. By now, we have C582VF. With VF and the second generation of fluorescent technology, the endoscope can be placed far away from the operation area, for example, 20 centimeters. It is a safe distance to have a clear fluorescent imaging, and it's also a safe distance to keep the endoscope clean. If we want to try to see more clearly for the center part, no more need to move the endoscope, but with pressing the button, then switch to the close shot, the center part is zoomed in with the same fluorescent effect. We solved another problem. And the surgeons can set different configuration for different close shot or distant shot. The system supports such kind of user-defined. It is pretty cool. This is our C582VF product. Let's see the following video to know about that. We just go beyond ourselves again. We are very proud to have C582VF. This product has many features, but the most impressive is it is the first Vari-auto-Focus for key fluorescent image solution. I believe such a solution can make the operation easier. This is our second new product, VAF. When we started, mentioned that the third keyword is 3D, stereo vision. Let's welcome to my partner, Wesley, for 3D's introduction. Welcome.
Hello everyone, I'm Wesley. I led the development team of Hikimaging's first 3D product, the C540. At the time, C540 was initially designed as a pre-research product, but it was quickly commercialized to the market, facing competitions in all aspects. Because of these head-to-head opportunities, we've gained a lot of feedbacks from our customers and the doctors. While improving the C540, we also considered what our next generation of 3D product should be like. As a result today, we introduce you our next generation of 3D product, the EC54 series. The name EC54 may be unfamiliar. Let me briefly introduce the name of our new product series. E stands for endoscope, C stands for camera, and the EC together indicates that our product is an integrated camera. 5 indicates the Mac5 platform, and 4 is our internal code, which refers to Full HD 3D. Together, it means an integrated Full HD 3D solution based on the Mac5 platform. As for the functions of EC54, I won't keep you guessing any longer. Please take a look at the introduction video first. The biggest change for the EC54 series 3D camera is the optical design. The clarity of your new 3D product is increased by 30%. The relative illumination is increased by 60%. And for the 3D depth perception is increased by 70%. These improvements are due to the new chip-on-tip optical integration technology in the 3D electronic endoscopes. The second generation chip-on-tip technology uses a compact optical design, high-resolution lens with a large aperture, and a higher spec CMOS imaging sensor. We believe this data will excite everyone about the 3D effect. However, we regret that we cannot fully showcase 3D effect through 2D images. We invite you to visit our product area at your convenience to experience the significant improvements brought by our new generation of 3D solutions. After improving the clarity and depth perception of EC54, our testers responded that watching EC54 caused more fatigue. We conducted comprehensive investigations and found a crucial factor that affects the 3D experience, the comfort zone. A greater depth perception makes the relationship between objects more apparent, but it also limits the comfortable range of binocular vision. This is a fundamental characteristic of stereo vision. If the object exceeds the comfort zone, it becomes challenging to establish stereo vision. Prolonged viewing of 3D images at the edge of comfort zone can cause image distortion and fatigue. This feature of three-dimensional vision is also a problem faced by international brands in the medical industry. If a 3D endoscope is optimized for liver minimal invasive surgery, it's impossible to balance thyroid and gastrointestinal scenes. Therefore, we provide a solution, parallax adjustment. We can adjust the parallax to comfort range for different scenes and link it to the scene setting for quick switching, avoiding the misuse of outside and on the edge of comfort zone in different surgical scenarios. In addition to enhancing clarity, stereoscopy, and comfort, our EC54 series also feature a key function, 3D fluorescence. After improving the clarity and the depth perception of EC54, our testers responded that watching EC54 caused more fatigue. We conducted comprehensive investigations and found a crucial factor that affects the 3D experience, the comfort zone. A greater depth perception makes the relationship between objects more apparent, but it also limits the comfortable range of binocular vision. This is a fundamental characteristic of stereo vision. If the object exceeds the comfortable zone, it becomes challenging to establish stereo vision. Prolonged viewing of 3D images at the edge of comfortable zone can cause image distortion and fatigue. This feature of three-dimensional vision is also a problem faced by international brands in the medical industry. If a 3D endoscope is optimized for liver minimal invasive surgery, it's implausible to balance thyroid and gastrointestinal scenes. Therefore, we provide a solution, parallax adjustment. We can adjust the parallax to the comfort range for different scenes and link it to the scene setting for quick switching, avoiding the misuse of outside and on the edge of the comfortable zone in different surgical scenarios. In addition to enhancing clarity, stereoscopy, and comfort, our EC54 series has also featured a key function, 3D fluorescence. Fluorescence is becoming increasingly widespread in 2D surgeries. Doctors also hope to have fluorescence assistance when performing 3D surgeries. For complex and long-time fluorescence surgery, stereo vision is in strong demand, and this is an industrial consensus. However, the number of 3D fluorescence solutions worldwide is very limited. This is mainly due to the enormous technical challenges involved in making a binocular fluorescence endoscope. We have conducted a lot of analysis in this direction, and through numerous revisions, our R&D team has finally achieved binocular fluorescence functionality through sophisticated design. With our specialized fluorescence light source, the system can achieve grayscale fluorescence and color fluorescence. It also supports various fluorescence synthesis modes, such as single color, multicolor gradient, and grayscale gradient, which function were just successfully implemented last night. We have also made further improvements around the precising technology of the Integrity 3D endoscopes. We improved the alignment process to ensure a registration error within 3 pixels, while making the structure more compact. In order to avoid fogging during the operation, we developed several solutions in the early thermal design stage to make the heat distribution of the distal end more uniform, so that the shaft air of the distal end will not condense water. In addition, we have also improved the grinding and polishing process to increase the light transmittance. In terms of camera technology, the EC54 series continues the IPX8 waterproof rating of C540 and also supports over 500 times low-temperature plasma sterilizations. Further upgrades have been made in EMC and safety protection. The EC54 series has two specifications for the insertion part. The first one is this 330mm specification, used for 3D minimal invasive surgery scenarios. It supports all the functions we mentioned earlier, including 3D fluorescence. In terms of the usability of 3D functions, we have continued the one-key 2D function and added support for automatic image flipping, which enables doctors to quickly switch between different heights of the surgical area. In addition, we have improved the system's interactive operation. This change is not only about aesthetics, but also about making doctors reach the functions they need during surgery more quickly. The other specification is used for robot 3D visual solutions. The main difference is that this endoscope has a length of 600 millimeters. Why is it so long? Because the endoscope is operated by a robotic arm. The range of motion of the robotic arm is limited by structural design, so a longer size is needed. However, existing 3D solutions internationally are not willing to make such changes, so we have arranged for it. Additionally, as we all know, in robot-assisted surgery, doctors operate at the console, and all signals need to be transmitted from the console to the robotic. This makes one parameter extremely sensitive, which is the system latency. If the latency is too long, it may cause a delay in the doctor's actions, which can significantly impact our operation process and pose additional risk. To achieve a lower latency, we have implemented a low latency mode. The overall response time from sensor acquisition to display is less than 6 milliseconds. We already considered the scene latency, which is generally 14 to 20 milliseconds. So the latency for the camera system is actually only about 40 milliseconds. There are some other differences in the 3D system used for robotic-assisted surgery, such as the user interface and the camera handle. We support two sets of information display systems on the console and the trolley. And we can provide real-time feedback of the rotation angle using the built-in gyroscope. As for the camera handle, because it is a robotic arm supporting endoscope, the handle part can be larger so that the heat dissipation can be better. This is our EC54 second generation 3D product based on the Mac5 platform, an integrated 3D fluorescence solution. Among so many features, all you need to remember is that it is a 3D plus fluorescence solution. Its clarity and 3D effect can already compete with international first-class solutions. More importantly, we also support applications in robotic 3D scenarios. Please look forward to our next year's new product conference. There are more 3D products on the way.
Next, we are going to introduce something new of Mi Product 9. It is a product line which provides total solution of single-use endoscopes. As we all know, we don't have too many choice for the sensor part. OV16946 is a very famous sensor applied for different use. We have to admit, its performance is good. The size is small enough as its WLO process. However, when the lens and the sensor are fixed, the best part of the image quality is fixed, and we can do limited work to make the image performance better. It is hard for us to make something different. such as, moreover, this kind of solidification has brought other problems in itself, such as the well-known vertical striper noise. This noise is like the screen window at home. When we look out the window through the screen window, what does it feel like? A layer of grid. There are also color noise. The appearance of this noise is to add some mosaic on the screen window. In addition, the shutter setting of the sensors is limited. There will be problem with extinction, and the resolution itself is also limited by its resolution, that is 400 by 400 pixels. Vertical stripes, color noise, exposure, resolution, etc. These are common problems that confuse the entire industry. Meeting with the problem, our first reaction is to improve from the source. But everyone knows it is difficult to change from the source due to the size constraint. Some people say, anyway, it's a single-use product. You don't need require too much about it. Maybe single-use endoscopes are disposable, but processors are reusable. If we can do something on the processors, such as imaging processing, then that will benefit countless surgeries. So we launched the ISP version 2 plan of MIP production line. Today, I'm very proud to introduce the first highlight of this project is super resolution technology. This is entirely an algorithm. To put it simple, a processing engine module is added to our previous image processing flow. After passing this module by a large number of computing, noise will be reduced and the details of each pixel will be copied according to the weight. Replication is augmented to preserve more neighborhood details, which increase sharpness, results in resolution from 400 by 400 to 800 by 800. Finally, the super resolution effect is achieved. In the image processing, noise reduction requires really large computing power. Super resolution also requires 2 computing power and high real-time performance. So the difficulty is how to use effective computing power to get effective ISP effect. It also takes several quarters, from algorithm simulation to optimization, from alpha version to beta version, and we finally have a super resolution module. Let's take a look at the actual effect. These are 2 groups of pictures. The picture of the control group is the effect of ISP version 1. The feedback of ISP version 1 is really good, but there is no harm without comparison. Compared with super resolution, we feel ISP version 1 is a bit hazy. Image comparison is like this. If you look at it separately, it's actually meaningless. The brain is not a good memory. If there is only one image, it's always not very objective to compare the image in your memory. Therefore, we do internal testing. We will focus on controlling parameters and comparing with the same condition. By doing this, the result can tell us something. In addition to the super resolution algorithm to improve clarity and reduce noise, we also developed other algorithms. For example, hormone laser delamination phenomena. This phenomenon is caused by ureteroscope calculus surgeries. Laser is used to crush calculus. The energy of the laser is leaked through the front end of endoscope, which interferes with the signal and causes the narrowing image phenomenon. It is a frequent phenomenon. People know this issue, but take no action. We believe that no one likes snowflake when watching TV. The same reason, so we developed a laser elimination algorithm. As the narrowing issue is not a regular at vertical stripe, the algorithm needs to compare the critical layer data many times to see if there is a big change. If there is a big jump, it needs to be spiced again according to the strategy. In this way, the stability of the image can be guaranteed. At the same time, the situation of uneven illumination also exists in this kind of endoscope. Unlike the rigid endoscope product, the camera has enough space to use two CMOS to solve the problem. But the small endoscope does not allow such space. Our engineering developed LBC, lighting balance correction algorithm. The effect of using LBC has indeed greatly improved the brightness of the overall visual field. All the above new technology are gathering in this new product, MAC P2302, which may look similar to the P2312 released last year in appearance, but the core is much stronger. The biggest highlight is super resolution technology. This is really a highlight this year. Besides P2302, we have another portable CCU to launch, that is P2102 HMSA4. The biggest difference from the first generation is the battery. SA4 installed with batteries. It can last 4 hours, has the certification of CQC and CE. It's allowed to air transport. And we add a solution on SA4, so it meets the safety requirements of IEC 16611-1-2005. And it also meets the EMC requirements of IEC 16611-1-2-2014. It saves a lot of work for the future CE certification. In addition, we spent more than 1 year around several numbers. One is 8 kilowatt. The other is 15 kilowatt. 8 kilowatt is for contact discharge, while 15 kilowatt is for air discharge. And both of them are the requirement of ESD items. This is a nightmare of making a disposable endoscope. Those who do hardware design know that the processing of interference is neither to lead or to block. But on such a small front end, it's not easy to lead or to block, which leads to the fact that the CCU is often hung up by doing ESD testing. We have been working on this for 8 months, and each product has undergone an average of nearly 30 times debug. Finally, we now have a complete EMC solution for each product. We mentioned our OMS product line, which is based on some products for the operating room audio-video management. In fact, it's divided into two parts. One part is medical display system, and the other is audio-video management products. Let's introduce the medical display system surgical monitor first. At the beginning of our business, we didn't want to make surgical monitor. However, we found more and more complaints caused not by the endoscope system, but the monitor. We did a lot of investigation and found that monitor's reliability is not that good. There is no regulation requirements for the monitor. As it's not a medical device, so most of the manufacturer did less EMC protection design. When the whole system work together under surgical allergy condition, the monitor loses signals or flick as the interference occurs. We gave the feedback to the famous monitor manufacturer. They all respond like this. It doesn't matter. In fact, it matters. It matters the user's experience. We are not going to be tolerant about this. So we started to do surgical monitor by ourselves. The core requirement is that it must be stable and reliable, and must have low latency. Just these two. All the others are the basic requirements. Stable and reliable, it's easy to say, but do you know how many interface types do we have? We have 5 kinds of interface type. The anti-interference method of each interface are different. We tested and debugged one by one. After 12 months' work, more than 36 debuggers and more than 100 tests finally meets the reliable requirements. Less and less complaints of flake or low signals was reported. That is what we want to see. For us, no latency is easy to realize. As we know, every signal flow steps engineering requires strictly about timing control in each step, so we can get the excellent no latency performance. Now, our 27-inch and 32-inch 4K monitors are already released. In particular, we accept exclusive brand customization. In addition, next year, we'll release 3D monitor solution. One of my favorite masters, Christensen, mentioned in his book, Competing Against the NAC, that when users buy a certain product or service, actually, they are hiring our product to complete a task. I totally agree with that. And I often think about, in the operating room, what tasks our users hire our product to accomplish? Later, I realized this is a pretty good question. First of all, who is the user? Surgeons often told me that the success of an operation is actually the success of entire team. And the team consists of chief surgeon, nurse team, and maintenance team. So they are all users. What's their task under the same operation? The answer is the overall goal is same, but the local goal are different. We all know that task goal of surgeons is to perform the operation successfully and leave experience that can be passed on. As for the nurse in the operating room, their overall goal is the success of operation, but the exact goal is ensure the safety and the compliance of the operation process. We just extract the three tasks of these two user groups: successful surgery, leaving experience that can be passed on, and ensure the safety and the compliance of the process. Corresponding to human brain, these three tasks can be compared to foreign brain task, middle brain task, and hand brain task. Successful surgery corresponds to the task of foreign brain, which receives vision and do related operation, ensuring the safety and compliance of surgical process. Is a task of middle brain. Leaving experience that can be passed on is the hand brain's task, stores and leaving useful data. If all these tasks are done by one brain, it will be very brain intensive. If all these tasks are integrated in one device, it will be complicated, not brain intensive, but cost cheap. Therefore, we learn from the brain's spatial unit for spatial function. Distribute different tasks for different devices. Make use of system distributed computing to handle the system task in the operating room. For an operation for entire surgical team, visual systems such as X-rays, endoscopic system, or ultrasound are foreign brain type tasks, while the other sensory data such as cameras, monitor data for the operating room assistant are the middle brain tasks. Tasks such as saving video, remote teaching, quality control are hand-brain tasks. A new product we are going to release today is distributed processing platform that can do both middle brain and hand brain tasks, MHDA 717. MHDA 717 is an intelligent 5G audio and video management platform. 8 CPU core, 16 TOPS computing powers, and support for customization processing tasks of quality control. At present, we have used its large computing power to perform sensitivity path mosaic processing and Gauss tracking function. 5G wireless transmission is another highlight of this platform. It has a built-in Wi-Fi module. If the operating room has excellent network resource, it can be easily configured to achieve networking. If there is no Wi-Fi, a 5G card can be inserted on MHDA 770. With a 5G network, you can also easily connect to the internet. Audio and video management is the main capacity of this platform. It supports 5 channels of video source input and 8 channels of mic audio area input. Audio and video data can be mixed and stored on this product. This platform comes with a 2T storage space. and the storage content can be copied away by external hard disk, or a software can be installed on your computer in the hospital, even if there is no hard disk during the operation. The operation video can be downloaded on the computer after the operation. The video with voice recorded is very helpful for following up review and teaching. In addition, if this product is used for remote teaching, real-time comments can also be made and shared through the network. This is our new product, MHDA770. The above is the introduction of all the new products we are going to launch today. Someone once asked me, endoscope has been done by others for many years. What is your chance? Is it late? I have many answers in my heart until I saw this sentence. It comes from Kevin Kelly's. It said, in the past 13 years, an incredible starting line has been created. But the upcoming will be different. It will go beyond the present. It will emerge. And the coolest thing has yet to be invented. Today is truly a vast virgin land. We are all creating the future. This is the best start ever in the history of mankind. You are not late. Each of us has just catch up the best start. And we are willing to work together with you to achieve better, to see more than better. Thank you.